Have you ever had a boss who made you feel worthless? The kind who calls you late at night, ruins your weekends, even insults you to your face just because they can? Well, mine did all that and more. And 3 months after I quit, I came back 2 levels above her. And when she tried to ruin me again, I got her fired. Let me tell you exactly how the worst year of my life turned into the sweetest revenge I've ever tasted. If you've ever dreamed of serving justice to someone who pushed you too far, hit that like button, subscribe, and get ready, because this is a story of pure, delicious karma. Last year was the lowest point of my life. My husband and I had both just been laid off. Overnight, 2 steady incomes gone. We were staring down a mortgage, emergency medical bills, and the gnawing fear of what if we lose the house? So when a company offered me a job, even if it was a step down from my old position, I took it. I told myself, it's just temporary. Just keep the lights on. At first, it felt like a relief. My direct manager, Gary, seemed kind and genuinely busy. The team seemed supportive. But that's when Jane entered my life, my unofficial manager. Gary was swamped, so he handed me over to Jane. And that's when things went from stressful to soul crushing. Jane didn't just manage me, she owned me. Or at least she thought she did. Day one, she started with little things, asking me to skip lunch for urgent tasks, demanding I cancel my pre-approved vacation days, calling my phone at 11 p.m. on weekends, saying, "Work doesn't sleep." Then it got personal. She made snide comments about my weight. Once, she looked me up and down and said, "You're pretty big for your race. Do they all eat like that?" My blood boiled, but I needed the paycheck. So I bit my tongue until I couldn't anymore. When I did push back, politely, she escalated. Her voice would go sharp, like a whip crack over the phone. She humiliated me in front of others. And behind every command, there was this unspoken message. You are small. I control you. The breaking point came on a Friday afternoon. I was already crumbling inside. My family had just suffered a tragedy. I was grieving quietly, barely holding it together. Then Jane stormed over my desk. She was furious that I scheduled a meeting without including someone from her team I didn't even know existed. She yelled loud enough for everyone to hear. Something inside me just snapped. My hands shook. My chest felt tight. I could feel my face burning with a mix of shame and anger. I walked straight to Gary's office, voice trembling as I finally told him everything. And you know what he said? I'm not surprised. Half her team has already quit. He offered to move me under him directly, and for a moment, I thought the nightmare was over. But Jane wasn't done with me. Even after I moved teams, her emails still popped up, demanding I do things that weren't even my job anymore. When I ignored her, she didn't just send a follow-up, She marched to my desk one day and said, loud enough for the floor to hear, "You're not even qualified for this role. Everyone knows it." Gary finally told her off, but she just smirked. I went home that night and realized I couldn't do this anymore. The next morning, I typed my resignation letter, and on top of it, I stapled a 3-page list of Jane's offensive comments. I CC'd the entire leadership team. I didn't walk out quietly. I walked out with my head high. I wanted everyone to know exactly. Quitting was freeing, but it was also terrifying. 3 months of unemployment followed. 3 months of eating bread slices for dinner just to cover the mortgage and medical emergencies. I applied to 10 jobs a day, sometimes 20. I felt invisible. Then, out of nowhere, a lifeline appeared. I saw a memo. A former executive from a company I used to work for, someone I'd worked closely with, was joining the same company I had just left. I shot him a congratulatory text. "Hey, if you need any insights on the company, I've got stories." We hopped on a call. I gave him the lay of the land, told him about the culture, the potential for innovation. Then he said the words that made my heart skip a beat. "I want you to be my chief of staff." I accepted instantly. 3 months after walking out in shame and exhaustion, I was coming back 2 levels above Jane. Picture this: a massive conference room, all the VPs and directors seated, Jane included. The new exec, my old colleague, stands up for his welcome speech and casually announces, "Oh, and this is your name, my new chief of staff." The look on Jane's face was the single most satisfying moment of my career. Jaw slightly open, eyes blinking like she'd just seen a ghost. She had no idea the person she tormented was now her superior. But Jane couldn't help herself. Instead of faking professionalism, she sent my new boss an email, called me an unqualified idiot, said I tried to get her fired, claimed I lied to get promoted. My boss forwarded me the email and said, "So, what's this about?" I was nervous, excited, because this was my moment. I explained everything. My previous role at a competitor, already her level, my 5 years of experience with him, and Jane's toxic history, including my resignation letter, Gary's confirmation of her mass team turnover, and multiple staff willing to share her abusive emails. By Friday, Jane was fired. I didn't yell. I didn't gloat. I just walked past her empty desk the next Monday, feeling a weight lift off my chest. The woman who tried to break me had been undone by her own cruelty. For the first time in months, I felt safe, vindicated, free. Karma doesn't always come quickly. Sometimes you have to walk away, rebuild, and let your enemies dig their own graves. Jane tried to destroy me, but in the end, she handed me the shovel. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button and tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? And of course, subscribe for more real-life revenge stories that prove karma is always watching.